you're gonna have a flag guy on one side and a flag guy on the other.
What
For a
they-
day and a half, they're gonna
What a
charge
contractor's gonna do
$40,000.
on a pretty long project, they'll have an escort vehicle, they'll have traffic stop to one side and they'll wait for the pilot car.
How many people could we employ for a day and a half at $40,000? I'm just saying, you know, if that's truly, again, I don't know some of these other line items, but to me, and I just did the math, on all of these projects, that's 14% of the project is the traffic control. So if for no other reason than to just see if we can we not renegotiate some of that? Or maybe we provide our own traffic control. So you're smiling, you've already gone there. What's a?
I believe that's their overhead and profit line.
But you take, for example, the Stokes Store Road, that's 2.02 miles, 45,000 flagged. All right, that road I take for granted, it's got a bunch of curves in it. But then you go down and look at Pine Grove Church Road, that's 1.7 miles, and the road is straight except one curve. $51,000 for flagging. There
may be 3 cars go back by
We
there.
can do better
during
than
that. But Jim's point is maybe, I mean, maybe that's where they're adding their profit and overhead and everything else.
But if we don't do a job over 100,000, we throw all this stuff out. Do $100,000 worth?
You'll do a half a mile at a time.
Well, that's about all we can save a fortune.
You won't do much.
I think we got too many miles of road to do a half mile at a time, don't you?
No, I mean, let's do a $98,000 project, and the next day do another $98,000 project. When we get the project done, it might take $98,000.
So the bids are all gonna be, well, you don't have, the bids are gonna be $98,000, who'll give us the most mileage, is that what you're saying? Just flip it around, and say,
Is there no way, that
1.2 miles for 98,000.
our county attorney is there any way, Ben, that we can advertise these jobs or bullet them a different way than like we're doing here and still comply? Because as long as we put on that website requires us to put on there, if you just tell the guy we got a 21-foot road width and we want 2 inches of asphalt put on it, and tell them the length of it, anybody in the world could bid on it, and that would be compliant with those instructions.
I'm not sure I understand the question, but as far as the Georgia procurement registry goes, as long as whatever project we're putting out for bid is listed on the Georgia procurement registry, and if it's over $100,000, liable public bidding requirements, then we can specify the scope of work as we see appropriate. If that answers your question.
That answered my question, yeah. Because Junior Duck and the bid will want to encourage, I think we could save, if we try and redo it like that.
I don't know anybody in the county that can do that. Could you tell somebody how to engineer a road?
Yeah, he told me, excuse me.
Junior, yeah,
I wouldn't want that on my back.
No, that's,
I mean, the engineer of the road, like, if you know, like Stokes Store Road needs to be full depth reclamation for 1.8 miles with a 2-inch overlay on it, you've engineered it. And then the Miller Group or somebody, they know what the mix to
That's
put
not,
in.
so the issue with that is the engineer is who you go back after if that road starts to cave in. You know,
Well, the engineer
that's
would go back after the contract.
You put whoever's stamp is on that piece of paper that said if you put, now, if the contractor did it the way the engineer said to do it, then it's on him, and his liability insurance is who would pay that bill. That's kind of the point behind the requiring that, I think, and so these were engineered, that we had some specs that were thrown out there, and anybody in the state of Georgia that was approved to do roads was offered to bid on this, correct?
They purchased a set of the plans.
Okay.
But they had to bid on all or none. They couldn't bid on part of Stokes Store. They couldn't bid on the full depth reclamation, and then another company bid on the 2-inch overlay.
but that's the law, is that the law or regulation right now?
We could bid every one of these separately.
And then
Well, not separate roads, I'm talking, what he's talking about is the full depth reclamation to be done by one company, and the asphalt being done by another. You're saying it could be?
Only if the company that won the bid was going to subcontract that piece of work.
or if it was under $100,000. You know, just make
Because
it.
the other one.
I don't think, I just don't think that's feasible, John. I personally, we're too big to do $100,000 jobs.
I'm just joking with that, but I'm saying that if we put the jobs up for bid, that somebody could bid on the full depth reclamation, and somebody else could bid on the overlay or whatever, like we're gonna put 2 inch asphalt. Because the way the bids were, they had to bid the whole job.
Well, the likelihood is that this company's probably already got a subcontractor or two rolled up into what they're doing.
Well, we had the exact stuff set up to do for about $850,000, the complete job, not that reduced one.
Is that right? I mean,
And just take, for example, high build solid traffic stripes, $825 for linear mile. We don't use that stuff. But they're gonna put in, I don't know, it's just like when you engineer a house or the fire department, you put in the best stuff you can put because they get a fee based on the final price. Junior, you don't use that high build solid stripes, do you?
Not momentarily, we have.
Let's look at the timeline here. Sometime last fall, Junior worked with each one of you, give me the name of a road. And then he got a number from somebody local. This is what I can do it for. July 1 of last year, before this went in, before he submitted his request, Georgia General Assembly said, July 1 of last year, you've got to put it on the Georgia Procurement Registry. We got the money in like February. We had the work done. We got the bids in June. Unless you can get with the legislators to exclude roads, the public works is defined as buildings, correct? Mostly buildings.
It's broad enough to encompass roads currently.
Get them to exclude the word roads. But
So by
there's-
going through the system, I still don't understand what triggered not being able to use who he had lined up. Is it,
we put it out to bid.
and those people
and
who
he
he had
didn't
lined
bid.
up
He didn't bid.
didn't do
But
it.
that was after Watkins had engineered it. That's the problem.
But it had to be engineered.
It had to be engineered, so when it goes onto the registry, they see Monroe County, 10 point so many miles, contact Watkins and Associates with scope of work, drawings, et cetera, et cetera.
Did that go into effect July 1st?
Yes, sir.
See, we already had this back in May.
July 1st of last year.
So here's
Right.
here's the question, I'm sorry,
Last
I was trying to, so, as I understand it, the main reason why they did not bid, Junior, was because once the engineers laid out the new plan, the cost to do it were gonna be, is that the difference? Is it the job they're asking us to do is more comprehensive now with the engineer?
Some of it, and like with Miller Group and all, that, he couldn't bid the asphalt part of it. He could bid the full depth reclamation part of it, but he couldn't do the asphalt part of it.
But he could have subbed
Even
it
if he
out.
subbed it out?
So, the way I understood when the bid package was drawn up, he couldn't bid it, period.
Well, but he's never done that.
Who he had been, as I understand it, who he'd been using was bought out by CW.
Right.
So it
The company was sold out.
was, since they were already bidding on it, you know, they weren't gonna.
But if we already had the price on these prior to that July 1st, why couldn't we do it?
But weren't they estimates? I mean, they weren't super hard, were they?
I think there's a little bit of confusion. Prior to July 1, this was still a public works project, it had to be bid, it couldn't just because he's sitting in the audience, go get Fred Nagin to do the work. I mean, we still had to bid it. So just because we got a price, we still had to comply with all the public bidding rules.
And I think
The thing that changed is Georgia Procurement Commission, so.
July 1st of last year,
Of 18, yes, sir.
you can see all these were approved, like, I think back in May of last year.
Call for the question.
I got a call to question, and we've had a lot of discussion. The motion, this is on the motion to deny or decline doing the work. We did have a motion in a second. So all in favor of denying the work, signify by raising your hand.
Denying,
Right. All in favor of John's emotion, John's, not emotion, but motion. He might be emotional about it, but all in favor of John's motion. John has raised his hand. He's the only one, all opposed. All right, now, we still have some projects that need to be done.
I motion that we move forward with the projects and take the money from that.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Evans.
Second.
We got a second, Commissioner Lommy. Any discussion on that?
I would like to say, I'm glad we heard John out, and I do think that we need to circle back around with our legislators and see if there's a way to, you know, to split it up and not necessarily have to, you know, have quite such a large contractor. You know, I think we're paying a little premium because of the fact that the cost to pay to play has just gone up. The ante has gone up now.
I would like to say in discussion on this, if we're gonna go ahead and put us in the hole for next year, let's don't halfway fix it, let's fix it like we call it.
Put it in the hole, you say it's a hole, you can splosh.
We're gonna use plus money for next year. And why put a Band-Aid on a problem? The whole price was what, like 1.6, 1.7 to do it properly like we asked?
1.8.
1.8. Don't go out there and halfway do a job. We're gonna be right back in here 2 years from now, Pine Grove Church Road or Stoke Store Road. Let's do it the right way. If we're gonna put the money in there, you're gonna waste it like it, let's fix it like it ought to be fixed. I don't agree with putting a halfway job.
Are we not?
No.
I mean, we're doing it according to the.
Put the 2-inch overlay on Stoke Store. And on P Ridge, you're just gonna patch a few little places on it. If we're gonna spend this kind of money.
Yeah, so Ginger, do you agree with Commissioner Ambrose's assessment that we are kind of halfway doing these jobs with these projects this way?
I'm pretty much with him. If you're gonna do something, it does feel good to do it right.
We're gonna be back in 2 years.
This says.
We done a full depth reclamation on Stoke Store. What are you talking about?
Look at the price.
20-inch paving.
Hold on, don't look at the,
Am I looking at the wrong one?
remember that we started out,
It went from full depth reclamation
look, see, here,
to
this is,
infill.
hold on, okay, everybody, let's make sure we're clear. He said this, Jim said this, these were the projects originally,
Okay.
right here.
Reduce the
Then,
scope, okay.
reduced scope of work, and you're right, Commissioner
Yeah,
Ambrose.
2 inches of asphalt.
Remove the full depth reclamation and add a 2-inch asphalt overlay. Will we be back in 2 years with a 2-inch asphalt overlay on Stoke Store?
Not on Stoke Store Road.
Okay. Which
Well,
one?
why do we need a
Which
full depth reclamation on
They had several places, had some significant base failures, but what they'll do in those places is go in there and mill it out, 6 to 8 inches, binder in there, then a 2-inch overlay.
So we won't have lipstick on a pig. I mean, we're gonna have a solid road, right? I mean, it's, I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Here's the thing, I mean,
you get many years to come out of it, but it's still not, it still won't be like a full depth reclamation, but you will get long service out of it.
it's not gonna fail.
No,
I mean, it's not gonna begin failing.
immediately, no.
it? I'm upset with P Ridge, that runs on Eddie and me, and that road is one of the worst roads we got in the county.
What's the worst road we got in the county?
Pine Grove Church Road and P
He said
Ridge
one of
Road.
them, so just so
P
you know.
Ridge and Pine Grove are awful.
John went down Pine Grove Church Road, he's gotta get a realignment on his truck.
No, it wasn't bad, it was nice and smooth.
Better not.
It's not smooth as P Ridge.
Don't be about the north end of South St.
When do we have to do this? Are we-
within 2 years.
No, I mean, when do we have to vote on it? 'Cause, I mean, it may be worth warring over in a work session again. I'm the last one to want to.
Well, what we've got is a motion and a second to approve this work as it's submitted, the reduced scope, not the projects, not the original, the reduced scope. Got a motion and a second to do so. I'm gonna call the question on it now.
And here's the thing, if you, we're still in discussion, right?
Well, I was about to call the question, I was gonna say, if you don't vote it down, we'll have plenty of time to discuss moving forward with it.
What you need, sir?
He's gonna vote against it.
I don't feel like I've gotten enough feedback from my constituents. Let me just say this, Stokes Store is one of the roads I've gotten the most phone calls about. And what I don't wanna do is I wanna do, even if it meant we had to wait, and again, I don't know enough about road engineering. I'm gonna go ahead and be the first one to say, I wish I knew more about it. You know, if in 2 years that road is starting to break up and we're having to discuss rolling it back in line again with having to redo it, you know, or now do a full depth on it, you know.
2 inches of asphalt's a lot of asphalt.
But the cracks are under them.
Yeah, Junior, what is your confidence on this? I mean, you're the most professional.
Stokes Store Road, you can get by with 2 inch overlay. Pine Grove Church, if you don't do a full depth on it, next year this time it'll be gone again.
And how about P Ridge, based on what?
P Ridge got some places pretty much failing daily.
Okay, and so
I
they're gonna
travel
remove
over here every
overlay.
day and I see places on P Ridge
Okay,
and it's coming apart pretty quick.
okay, remove overlay on P Ridge roads.
They're on his district, he's up for vote, not me.
So how long before we're gonna have to revisit Stokes Store Road, this area? I mean, in your opinion, if we do a 2 inch overlay?
You can get 7, 8 years out of it easy.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If it's got cracks all in the road, now, you're the expert, I'm not, but they tell me that if it's got cracks in the road and we don't fix it, that you put asphalt over it, and within 2 years, those cracks work their way right back up.
Thinner asphalt will, but if you use a 9.5 and put 2 inches asphalt, it's gonna stay good. But if your asphalt is slipping and all that, you got places holding out on you, you're gonna have to do something there, because you don't want to go over on top of that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any more questions for Junior? Got a motion and a second to approve as submitted. I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay. Any opposed? It's 4-1, Junior. All right? Now, hold on, let me sign this. Right here, that it? All right, next item on the agenda is the 2018 LMIG approval.
I thought we had so much fun on 2019, that let's do it again on 2018.
Glutton for punishment? Go ahead.
We have $94,000 remaining in the general fund earmarked for 2018 LMIG projects. It was originally slated for Unionville Road. There were some right-of-way issues and alternative projects have been selected. These funds are all earmarked for District 4. This is a map. The first one is Martha Lane. It's 2,800 feet. We would do patching and asphalt overlay. If you follow the little green dot, comes around and over, that is Martha Lane. This road is High Falls Road. The second piece of work would be on Timberline Road, 3,400 feet, patching and asphalt overlay. Again, the green dot. Sorry y'all are looking at this one. My green dot doesn't bounce back, but this is Timberline Road. We went to bid. C.W. Matthews bid $136,897. You call it Houston? Houston. Houston asphalt, $87,150. So, Mr. Chairman, the motion would be to award the contract to Houston Asphalt.
Okay, it's a pleasure of the board. Commissioner Love. It's your district, correct?
I'll motion to approve.
You got a motion to approve the recommendation, second, Commissioner Ambrose. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? Yeah, that passes. All right, next item on the agenda is road acceptance. Jim?
myself to that?
You did.
Should have been Kelsey. Anyway, Mr. John Pitts has requested Jonah Drive be accepted as a county road. Jonah Drive is located directly opposite of Bun Road. It's been reviewed, evaluated, and accepted by Junior Watts. I understand that, having had lunch with Commissioner Ambrose today, if you look at the map that's included in your papers, I don't know that there's any residential areas on this piece of road. Kelsey, can you tell me on accepting a road that there has to be X number of residential or residents or lots on the road? I think this might have gone back to 1986.
There is it's in my office, I have a checklist of all the different things that it should meet before, but I want to say that this one was okay when I looked it up. I think, because there's a couple of homes, but there's also commercial that touches it as well.
Do we know how many parcels that touch it?
Or do you?
I want to say 2. I'm just
Oh.
thinking of looking in my head, thinking of it.
There's only 2 parcels that touch Jonah Drive.
Mr. Chairman, can I suggest that this be tabled until we can get additional information?
That's the first I've ever heard of that, because we accept roads from contractors, without anything on. That's the first
Yeah,
I've
but
heard.
but there's a number of residences. There's usually at least, 4 more?
For
A number of
what,
lots.
what I was referring to today, when I talked to Mr. Hedges, that before they put the zoning in, back in whenever y'all did A6 or A7, there were quite a few private roads and some builders built houses on dirt roads. And at that time, now, moving forward, we could accept them if they had like 6 parcels with 5 living residents on them before that date of 87. Because if we accept this one here, it's not up to county standards, you're gonna open a door to quite a few places coming in.
Well, it is up to standard.
It is up to standard.
It's not, who drives it?
Well, where did Junior,
Junior said that.
Jim, what did Junior?
He has made it, right?
I have a letter from Junior in your packet.
He says it's cracked,
It's like crack.
like cracking. Well, like cracking, we're gonna be paving it. We can't open the door on these things. We set the guidance before.
I'll entertain a motion to table.
I make a motion to table it till they can pull that out on those roads.
Got a motion to table from Commissioner Ambrose, got a second from Commissioner Mommy. Any other discussion? All in favor? I'll call the question. All right, that's tabled until the next meeting. All right, next item on the agenda, Mr. Landon Sparks, come on up, talk about the recreation department upgrades you wanted to discuss.
One clicker. Just give me a second.
All right, I just wanted to bring forth, basically this is to go to bid for recreation field improvements.
Talking to that mic, Mr.
Talking to the
Clinton.
mic. All right, got you.
You can
Close
take
Pull it
in
out.
the hand.
You can hold on to it if you want, you can pull it out of it.
Talk closer to it.
All right, that better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, currently in the SPOS status that we have right now, we have approximately 700,000 remaining in recreation SPOS. 100,000 of that is currently allocated to match the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant that we had put out for the, basically taking the 7-8 concession bathrooms and converting those into a all abilities bathroom. We're still waiting approval from Land and Water Conservation on that. This is basically just the overview of the park. Basically what I'm looking at is the baseball, softball fields, football field down here in the bottom right corner, and then also the multi-purpose area, which is up kind of that square right by the pond, right to the left of the top pond. Fields 1 through 4 is what we consider the quad area. This consists of field 1 and 2, which are approximately 190 foot. Field 1 is a baseball-only field. Field 2 is used for baseball and softball. Field 3 is 290 foot, it's baseball, softball. Field 4 is 272 foot, and it's strictly baseball. On fields 1 and 2, a lot of the major concerns are, it's hard to really see there, but in the top left picture, right around home plate on field 1, there's what we consider the grass lip, which is where the dirt meets the grass. There's about a 6 to 8 inch difference between, measuring tall, but basically there's about a 6 to 8 inch gap or difference between where the dirt is to where the top of the grass is, which creates a tripping hazard for catchers, players that are running. As you see right up on the top right, that's field 2. That's along the outside, or the outfield, infield, outfield, what I guess you'd say loop around the infield. There is about a 4 to 6 inch at different spots. Bottom left, you see over time the fence has been hit so much that it's starting to basically protrude outward, which causes the fence to turn up, and it causes little pieces of the chain link that where it crisscrosses, it sticks up, and when players reach down for the ball, it's a poking hazard. A lot of that fence over time has been sprayed with weed killer, and it causes it to rust, which then, rust and cuts don't really go well together. As you can see also along the outfield fence, there's a lot of places that there's that one's not as bad, but on field 3 today, I noticed that there's some that were almost basketball size, and we all know that baseball and softball are a lot smaller than the basketball, so we have a lot of issues with balls going outside the fence. Field 4, or fields 3 and 4, this is field 3 in the top left corner. It's hard to see there, but that fence literally is about a 2 foot where it's kind of protruding out. Again, we have it sticking up. Top right is field 4. Again, that lip is about 4 to 6 inches. In some places 8 inches. The field 3 in the bottom left, kind of the same deal, and then kind of down the baseline on field 4 down here in the bottom right, you can see it kind of, it wavers all the way up through. Fields 5 and 6, these are in the middle. They're both approximately 300 foot. We use them for both baseball and softball. This is where the adult co-ed plays. Currently, this area here, anytime it rains, you can see here, this is actually, the bottom picture there is the sidewalk that runs between 5 and 6 towards the parking lot. That's literally our infield. Every time it rains, it ends up there. As you see in the top left where that, it's hard to see because of the shadow, but right there where that water faucet is, there's actually a little pipe there that every time it rains, all the infield just kind of runs down through there and runs out onto the, we've worked on fixing the drainage there, and we continue to get, if you look real close on the top right-hand corner back toward the dugout, the top left of that top right picture, there's literally boards that have been put in there to kind of hold the dirt in place. Those boards are now sitting like this, where over time they've gotten wet and pushed, and the fence is giving way, so they've turned up, and so that patch is no longer working. This is the backstop fence behind home plate. As you see, it's protruding out and sticking up, and there we've had to put cones and other items to keep balls from pulling out the backstop after a wild pitch. Field 7, this is a little 200-foot softball baseball field. This one is probably in the best shape of all, but it still has a little bit of a lip there, and the backstop you see has been beat up pretty bad. The second part of the kind of the proposal going along with is the multi-purpose area that's down by the pond. In the past, that's been used for T-ball. It's kind of, right now, it's literally just a lot of rocks. It's not really safe to play on. What I would like to do there is, since we don't have dedicated soccer fields, my crew has been working all week trying to fit rectangles inside of quarter donuts, which don't really work very well. We end up with soccer fields that are half on the dirt, half in the grass, or we have to wiggle them around and maneuver them, and then parents are having to sit out in the middle of the baseball fields. It doesn't work well with getting to the concession stands, to the bathrooms, things like that. So what I'm proposing down in the multi-purpose area is to create one larger field that would be large enough to be a full-size football or soccer field, and then a second area that would house some of the smaller fields. This area, I know, like, you know, we look forward to the new property and all that. There is some proposals to put football, soccer. This area would then be able to be repurposed at that time to be more of a community space and used for different events that happen on the grounds at the rec department, such as fireworks and things like that. Gives kind of picnic places that's flat level ground to set up tents and things like that. This is the current condition of the multi-purpose. As you see, it's really just kind of a rocky. It's never really been purposed, or there's never been like a true infield put out there for true infield dirt. It's just been basically what the current terrain was. Basically, the scope of the work for the baseball, softball side would be basically to eliminate the built-up areas along the infield, which is the grass lip. Bring in new infield mix and build the fields up to the proper level. Laser grade that. Core aerate the top dress of the outfields. Existing irrigation would need to be added to or modified accordingly. Then, of course, replace the fencing. Be in the field distances with the type of infield for scope. For the soccer fields, the scope of work would be removal of the existing fence, add field dirt and soil conditioner, and then laser grade. Smaller field will need a drain line extension because there is a drain there that runs from, I guess, where everything comes off of fields 5 and 6. It then goes down through and out to that bottom pond. So we need to extend the drain line for that. We would need to have irrigation installed there, and then also put a perimeter fence, since we are talking about putting it close to the pond. I would want a perimeter fence so that when kids are on the field, there is something between them and the pond. We currently have lights on where that bigger field would be, so we would need to put lights on the back side to shine down to that smaller field. Again, the field sizes that we're proposing. Basically, at this point, would just be a motion to authorize us to go to bid for this project.
Okay. Thank you. All right, well, y'all heard Mr. Sparks. Appreciate him giving his presentation. I hear a motion from Commissioner Mommy to approve. Do I have a second? I got a second from Commissioner Rowland. We're in discussion.
The drainage part, that drainage line, I think